Good morning everyone, welcome to my kitchen. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Janice. I'm a Thermomix consultant. It is early in the morning and I've got a few recipes. Sunday night, my turn to cook tea. So I decided I'd give a slow cooker recipe a go in the Thermomix. So I'm going to go with a pulled beef. And to go with that, we're having coleslaw, and I'm going to try and make pita bread. Now, I've never made pita bread before. I have made pita bread before, like many years ago, like over 20 years ago. We lived up in the Gulf of Carpentaria, and anything like that, I used to make myself. So they didn't turn out very well. I only made them once. So today I'm going to have another go. This recipe says if they don't puff up, it doesn't matter, you can eat them as a wrap. So I'm going to go with that. So I've already made coleslaw, and it's in the fridge. And now I'm going to get the dough for the pita bread made. Then while it's resting, I'll start the pulled beef. I haven't tried this recipe before, probably won't video it, but I'll let you know how it goes. Rightio. So let's start off. So I've got saved to my week for today. I've got spicy pulled beef, pita bread, and then the coleslaw using the Thermomix cutter. I don't know how many people have managed to get hold of the cutter yet, but I love the coleslaw in it. It's just, you know, jump, 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 and everything's cut up. So, love it. I love the cutter. So, anyway, we'll talk about that. We're making pita bread. So, this recipe is, I don't know if oh, that's right, I forgot. It doesn't show us what recipe book it is in when we're on the Thermomix. Only if you're on your app, on your phone or your iPad. I don't know where my phone is, so I can't look. I don't know if it's an Australian recipe. I think this is it's either a UK or an American recipe, but anyway. So we're going to start off with 1 teaspoon of dried yeast. A few measuring things here. I think this makes 8, if I remember correctly. So, 1 teaspoon of dried yeast. Now I've just washed the Thermomix bowl up and put it back together. Then I'd made the coleslaw. I have taken the cutter shaft out. So the bowl is empty. 270 grams of water. Rightio. 1 teaspoon of sugar. I don't know why I take the lid off when it's actually got a pouring spout. And now we're going to put the lid on. 30 seconds, 37 degrees, speed 2. Just warming the water and activating the yeast. I've got an avocado as well. I don't know if I'm going to put the avocado with it, but it sounds good. I love avocado, anything avocado. Okay, now 1 teaspoon of olive oil. So we can select scales and just weigh that in as 5 grams. Okay, 500 grams of bread flour. I don't know why the recipes that draw me the most are the bread recipes. bag of flour. I've got another bag there. When I get them, like I'll bring, once I've opened that one, the new one, I'll buy another one, and then I just pop them in the freezer for, you know, as long as I want, you know, a week or so, and pull them out, and it tends to stop all our little bugs from hatching out. I don't know, I got that tip off some YouTuber, I don't know who it was, and it's perfect. If I got flour on my face, I have a teaspoon of salt, okay, and now we're going to knead it, which is how all breads go. Knead it for 3 minutes. Ready? I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so that's nearly finished kneading, and then we pop it into the, you can put it in a bowl, cover it with clean wrap, or if you've got a thermomat, you can tip it out on your thermomat. It says to transfer into a bowl, and then we just leave it to rise for an hour. Whoops. Okay. Let's put our bowl back together. Now I'm just going to show you that. I'm going to do the pulled beef next, and I'm not going to wash the bowl. I mean, the amount of food that's left in there is, yeah, it is not going to change the recipe at all. Rightio. So I'm going to just pop that aside. Another way you can do this is if you've got a thermoserver, you can put your dough in there and put the lid on, and it will rise nicely in there too. It'll keep it nice and warm. So rightio, I'm going to put this aside, and then it says to cover with cling wrap and leave to rest in a warm place until doubled in size, approximately an hour, and then it says to come back and we'll keep going. What I think I might do, or what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get the, I don't need the Thermomix anymore for this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get going, and I'm going to get our pulled beef in the Thermomix and cooking, because it takes 8.5 hours. So, rightio, I'll be back. Okay, I was just going to do the pita bread, but I'll include this in because it's very short cooking time, very short active cooking time. So basically we just bung everything in and then walk away. So we'll start cooking. It says to place 90 grams of sliced onions. Now, I was talking about my slicer before, so what I do is I buy a bag of onions, I'll slice them all up and fill a bag up and put it in the fridge, in the freezer. And then that's really good for when, for times like this when I don't really feel like cutting up onions. So it's just 90 grams of sliced onions. Next, 400 grams of tinned chopped tomatoes. I've got diced tomatoes. I don't know if there's a difference between chopped and diced. This was what was on the supermarket shelf, and it's one that contains only, it's 100% tomato, diced minimum 61% in tomato juice. Rightio. 300 grams of beef stock, so that is 300 grams of water. tablespoon of beef stock paste. Oh, get off their lid. Okay. I fit 150 grams of brewed coffee. So this is just black coffee made in my coffee machine. Whatever I don't pour in there, I'll drink the rest. So 150 grams, I don't know how much this is going to weigh. Oh, I don't get very much, do I? Okay. 2 fresh red chilies. I'm not going to put the chilies in. I'm going to put a little bit of chili powder in at the end. A tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. So my tablespoon, I can't find it. So what I'm going to do is I'll weigh in 20 grams. I find 20 grams for me is a tablespoon. Oops, a bit more. Okay. 2 garlic cloves sliced. Now this is, I've got no fresh garlic. This is frozen garlic paste that I made in the Thermomix. If I remember, I'll put a link to the recipe below in the description box. So you have a half to a teaspoon of chili powder. So I'm just going to put like, not even a quarter of a teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon. I know this is spicy pulled beef, but I do have a 5-year-old that's eating this, and even though he is pretty good with spices, if it's just too hot, he can't eat it. So a half a teaspoon of ground cumin. Oh, that's what I remember that we've got this in the bag. Quarter of a teaspoon of sea salt. Half a half. A little bit of black pepper. Now 500 grams of beef. So this, I don't think this is 500 grams, but I think it's top side. And we're just going to pop it straight in. So what's that? No, it's not even, it's just under 400 grams. Put the lid on. 8 hours, 95 degrees on slow cook. So I've got the coleslaw made, the dough for the pita bread resting on the table, rising, meat's cooking. I'm practically done. Rightio, I'll be back when I'm ready to roll out the pita bread. Okay, so our beef's been cooking for nearly an hour. We've let our pita bread rise until it's doubled in size. And because I've got another recipe cooking, I can't look at the guided cooking. But what I can do is I can look at the app on my phone or my iPad or my computer, whatever. So it says to divide into 7 to 8 equal sized pieces, shape into a ball, and then leave to rest. So do. Though I don't worry too much about exact. I mean, you can weigh them if you like. but I usually just eyeball it, and then we can just go half, so that'll be 4, and another half, that'll make 8. Having a pretty chill day today. I went out to some friends and they cooked me breakfast, and we come back and I'm just going to do this, but I spent all day yesterday in the kitchen making jam. So I've got a table full of jam, and I've got to wash the bottles, label them, and that's why the markets aren't till next month. So I've got a little while to get organised, but and then it says to just shape them into a little ball and then leave them to rest for 15 minutes. I said if these don't work out, they actually say that you can just eat them as wraps if they don't puff up and form the pocket in the middle. So hopefully we can have pockets in the middle. Okay, so roll each into a ball and leave to rest for 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, we come back and we roll them out into a 15 centimetre disc. So we've got the Thermomix here, and it gives us, this one's 16 centimetres. So just inside that should be perfect. And then we leave them to rest again. So I will be back when I'm ready to keep going. And let's just move that off the edge a little bit. And I'll set a timer for 15 minutes. And I'll be back. Okay, that was a bit of a detour that took longer than 15 minutes, but anyway, it says to leave them to rest for 15 minutes, and then we're going to roll them out into, it was a 15 centimetre circle. I think it is what it is you cook in the fry pan, and you have to push it down really hard into the fry pan to make it puff up into a sort of a balloon. So when I just can't think what it is. What's that say? That says that's just a bit over 16 centimetres. So I've got these trays here. Okay, it says it just says to do that, and then do them in the oven 2 to 4 at a time for 4 to 5 minutes. So I've got the oven preheating, so in 15 minutes time, okay, so what I might do is I've got a tray here, I can put them on. So I'll do 2 at a time on this on this oven tray. So right there. Oh yeah. So I'm just wondering if it's the rolling out that causes them to get a pocket in the middle. Inquiry minds need to know. I'm going to have to Google that now to find out what causes the pocket in the middle of the pita bread. Yeah. I'll be back when I get the first couple out of the oven, and I'll show you. So we've got them here, and they've been sitting for 15 minutes, and they have actually risen just a tiny bit. So I'm going to pop the first 2 in the oven and cook them and see what they look like before I decide whether or not I'm going to give them a little bit more rising time. They're supposed to puff up really high, so we'll see how they go. There's our first 2 out of the oven. So they, I guess I'll just see how they go. They feel cooked. And it just says to put them in a dish and cover with a tea towel until they're totally cool. That dish is not going to be big enough, but anyway, I'll be back when we're ready to eat tea and we'll have a taste together. Yeah, so I've set the Thermomix aside to wash itself up. These are our Pita Bread. When I did the next tray, I actually cooked them for longer and they puffed right up. So it was only an extra, 30 seconds to a minute. They got a bit browner, but they puffed right up. So I haven't tried one yet. I'm just waiting for my family to get here. The meat, oh hang on, that's very hot. There's an awful lot of gravy. So I don't know if that's because when I got the piece of meat, it was the correct weight, but by the time I'd cut all the fat and everything off it, it was 100 grams lighter. There was a lot of fat on it. So I was thinking if I did it again, I would definitely get a slightly bigger piece. You see that? I'll just... This is the spicy pulled beef. So this was a recipe I hadn't made before. That's really beautiful. All the connective tissue's broken down and it's super tender. So that is delicious. So this is what we've got for tea tonight. We've got the pita bread, the pulled beef. I made the coleslaw using the slicer, and then just some avocado and cucumber. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll let you know how these are once we've had tea. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, pop over to my channel and subscribe, and I really hope I'll see you next time.